Jai Shri Gurudev. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Janasnehi Edu Help Desk. If you are not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, like and comment to each and every video that I have uploaded to YouTube. Please like and comment and share as much as possible with your friends and colleagues. This is your Ravian, Assistant Professor, working in Department of MCOM, BGSIMS Chikbalapur. Dear students, in this video I am going to explain the concept NABARD, which is one of the famous financial institution which is existed in India. Yes, so NABARD, as you know, the full form of NABARD is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. See, this bank is for two parts. One is for agriculture and another one is for rural development. There is a purpose behind this establishment of this bank, that is for agriculture development, even for also a rural development. Let me explain each and every aspect related to this NABARD. But in this video I am going to explain only the basic part of NABARD and role of NABARD. Okay, yes, let me start with the first. What is this NABARD? See, NABARD is a National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. The term itself, the word itself explaining, so it is a national bank. So the two for agriculture purpose and rural development purpose. And it is an apex regulatory body in the sense, so which regulates overall activities. So for overall regulation and licensing of regional rural banks and apex cooperative banks in India. Main purpose of establishment of this NABARD is to regulate the overall regional banks which are existed in India and apex cooperative banks in India. So it is under the jurisdiction of Ministry of Finance. NABARD is comes under jurisdiction of Ministry of Finance, Government of India. The bank has been entrusted with matters that are concerning policy, planning and operations in the field of credit for agriculture and other economic activities in rural areas in India. NABARD is active in developing and implementing financial inclusion. Okay, and if we talk about background of this NABARD, see, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, that is NABARD, was established on 12th July 1982 by an act of the Parliament. So this NABARD was established on the recommendations of B. Shivaraman Committee. I repeat, so this was established as in 1982 in the month of July, dated 12th. So but for the establishment of this NABARD, one committee is framed. That committee name is B. Shivaraman Committee. Okay, so under the NABARD Act 1981, NABARD is established in 12th July 1982. Actually, this NABARD is replaced by three institutions. One is Agricultural Credit Department, which is popularly known as ACD, and Rural Planning and Credit Cell, which is known as RPCC. RPCC in the sense Rural Planning and Credit Cell. So these are of Reserve Bank part. See, Agricultural Credit Department and Rural Planning and Credit Cell of the Reserve Bank of India. And one more institution, Agricultural Refinance and Development Corporation, ARDC. So these three institutions replaced with NABARD. Okay, so NABARD replaced the Agricultural Credit Department and Rural Planning and Credit Cell, and Agricultural Refinance and Development Corporation. So it is one of the premier agencies which providing developmental credit in rural areas. And NABARD is India's specialized bank for agricultural and rural development. So in India, okay. So this is especially for rural development as well as agricultural purpose, or agricultural credit and agricultural development. See, initially, this no corpus of NABARD was rupees 100 crores. When it was established, the initial corpus of NABARD was 100 crore rupees. Consequent to the revision in the composition of share capital between Government of India and RBI. So the paid up capital as on 31st March 2020, it stood at rupees 14,080 crore, that too with the Government of India. So which holding 14,080 crores, so 100% of share, which is under the hands of Government of India. Okay, so total stake is in the hands of India, Indian government only. See, the authorized share capital of this NABARD is rupees 30,000 crores. 30,000 crores. So this is what the background of NABARD is. Okay, so majorly it was established under the recommendations of B. Shivaraman Committee, which is established as on 12th July 1982. Okay, and replaced by three institutions: ACD, ARDC, and RPCC. Okay, yes. Next, we'll move on to the vision of NABARD. See, it has a vision that development bank of the nation for fostering rural prosperity. The main vision, aim of this NABARD is to development of the bank, the two development of the nation, which through fostering rural prosperity. So mainly it concentrating on rural prosperity. Okay, so by developing by involving in various developmental activities in the field of rural and agriculture. Okay, and then nextly, if we talk about mission of the NABARD, the mission of this NABARD is promote sustainable and equitable agriculture and rural development through participative financial and non-financial interventions, innovations, technology, and institutional development for securing prosperity. The vision of this NABARD is to promoting sustainable and equitable agricultural and rural development. Sustainable development and rural development is the main aim of this NABARD. See, that equitable agricultural development and rural development can possible through financial interventions and innovations. So only it has considered and it developing an equitable agricultural development and rural development through participative financial and non-financial interventions. Okay, in association with various financial institutions which are majorly working with rural development and agriculture. And even this NABARD, by taking innovations with good technology and developed technology and updated technology, and by securing the rural prosperity and agricultural prosperity, so it developing overall the nation, so our rural India. So that is the mission of NABARD is. Next, if we talk about ownership, as I said, NABARD is wholly owned by Government of India. 99% of the stake is in the hands of Government of India only. See, already I told you, as on 31st March 2020, government share or share capital of the NABARD is 14,080 crore rupees. So which is in the hands of Government of India. So which I mean to say is holding of 14,080 crore, the 200% share is in the hands of Government of India. So that NABARD is wholly owned by the Government of India, which is monitored through Finance Ministry of Finance. Okay, and next we will move on to the organizational setup. How these NABARD is set up. See, NABARD with its head office at Mumbai. So we know that head office of the NABARD is located in Mumbai, Maharashtra, and it has 31 regional offices across the country, which are located in states and union territories. Okay, we have 31 regional offices, and nextly we have 3 training establishments in the northern, eastern and southern parts of the India. Okay, totally 3 training establishments which comes under NABARD monitoring. And nextly we have 418 district development managers who are functioning as district level, in the district level. Okay, so totally 418 district development managers working for NABARD in district level. Okay, and NABARD has 2,386 professionals supported by 1,193 other staff across the nation. Okay, so totally 2,386 professionals along with supported staff 1,193. Okay, and this data which is based on uh, official website of the NABARD as of 31st March 2020. Okay, so this is what about the organizational setup. And if we talk about our little more on organizational setup, so the purpose of this NABARD is agricultural development, rural development, credit planning, and even refinance, and the regulatory body for regional rural banks, and even regulatory body for apex cooperative banks in a country. Okay, so the type of this NABARD is regulatory body. Okay, so it has formatted it was established on July 12th 1982. Okay, so exactly no 39 years ago. Okay, yes. And nextly we'll go on to move on to the role of NABARD. Role of NABARD. So here NABARD was it has been NABARD has been instrumental in grounding rural and social innovations and social enterprises in the rural hinterlands. See, as of May 2020, NABARD operates at 32 regional offices in the country. 32 regional offices in the country. And it has in the process partnered with about 4,000 partner organizations, so that in grounding many of the interventions, be it like SHG, bank linkage program, tree based tribal communities, livelihoods initiative, watershed approach in soil and water conservation, increasing crop productivity, the two initiative through lead crop initiatives or dissemination of information flow to agrarian agricultural communities through farmer clubs. See, despite all this, NABARD paying huge taxes. Okay, uh, and if we talk about role of the NABARD is the most important institution in the country which look after the development of the cottage industry, small scale industry and village industry and other rural industries which are existed in our country. NABARD also reaches out allied economies and support and promotes integrated development. So if we go with the for understanding of NABARD role, NABARD discharges its duty by undertaking the following roles. Let me explain one by one. First role of NABARD is it serves as an apex financing agency for the institutions providing investment and production credit for promoting the various developmental activities in rural areas. See, NABARD is acting as an affect financing agency. It is the main monitoring agency for those institutions which are providing investment of credit and production credit, that too especially for developmental activities in rural areas. The person or individual or institution which are involving in rural developmental activities, for them investment is required and credit is required, and the institutions which are providing rural credit and investment to the rural people for the developmental activities in rural area, so for those institutions NABARD work as a affects financing agency. So this is what the first role of NABARD is. Nextly, it is improving the absorptive capacity of the credit delivery system in India, including monitoring, formulation of rehabilitation schemes, restructuring of credit institutions, and training of personnel. See, NABARD working like it is improving the absorptive capacity of the credit delivery system. See, all financial institutions which are working for the rural development, issuing rural credit for various rural development and agricultural development activities. Say, for example, cooperative societies, cooperative banks, regional rural banks are providing rural credit or credit for agricultural developmental activities. Okay, so this NABARD is improving the absorptive capacity of that credit delivery system. Okay, in order to a smooth functioning of those financial institutions, so it improves their capacity. Okay, so including even this NABARD is monitoring various financial institutions, and it is monitoring formulation of rehabilitation schemes in the country, even though even it is restructuring of credit institutions. Okay, and even it giving training to the various persons involving in financial institutions which are providing rural credit in the country. And next role of this NABARD is it coordinates the rural financing activities of all institutions engaged in developmental work at the field level and maintains relationship with Government of India, state governments, Reserve Bank of India and other national level institutions concerned with policy formulation. NABARD is helps to coordinate between central government, Government of India, that is central government, with state government and even with Reserve Bank of India and also other national level institutions. Okay, so which are in the field of policy formulation. See, these all institutions are coordinates with the rural financing activities because of the NABARD. So NABARD coordinates all these financial activities of the rural areas and developmental activities. So with the Government of India, with the state government and Reserve Bank of India and even with other national level institutions. And next is it undertakes monitoring and evaluation of projects refinanced by it. See, some financial institutions which are dealing with rural development and agricultural activities. So no, they need to be refinanced by NABARD. So the institutions which are refinanced by NABARD should be monitored and evaluated by NABARD. So because of that, NABARD is monitoring and it is evaluating various projects. So the two which are refinanced by NABARD itself. And next is NABARD refinances the financial institutions which finances the rural sector. See, the main purpose of this NABARD is to provide agricultural credit to various financial institutions which are working in India. Okay. Along with that, NABARD also refinances the financial institutions, the two which are working with rural sector, are working in rural sector, the institutions which are providing credit to the farmers for the agricultural development and for the small scale industries and tiny industries, cottage industries, handicraft industries for the rural development. Okay. And next role of NABARD is NABARD partakes in development of institutions which help the rural economy. I already told you that. So this NABARD has take part with 40,000 organizations in grounding many of the interventions like bank linkage program, tree based tribal communities, and livelihoods initiatives, watershed approach. So like different activities are engaged by different institutions. Okay, so this NABARD partakes in those development institutions or developmental institutions which help the rural economy. And next is NABARD also keeps a check on its client institutes. So there are many client institutes which are working in various regions of the nation. Okay, it keeps check on its activities. So the two client activities, NABARD client institutes working in the country, and that client institutes are monitored by these NABARD only. Okay. And next, it regulates the institutions which provide financial help to the rural economy. See, whatever the institution or whatever the organization which are providing financial help to the rural people for the rural development of rural development, so that financial institutions are regulated by NABARD only. See, whatever the institution which are providing rural credit or financial help in the rural areas, that are monitored and regulated by NABARD only. So that regulation part is taken by NABARD. That is also one of the role of NABARD. Nextly, it provides training facilities to the institutions working in the field of rural upliftment. The institutions which are working in the rural area for the purpose of rural upliftment or rural development, for those institutions, training is important. Based on the training only, they can engage with their rural developmental activities. The training will be provided, the training facility will be provided by the NABARD. And last but not least, NABARD regulates and supervises the cooperative banks and the regional rural banks throughout entire India. See, we already know that rural, regional rural banks and cooperative banks comes under the monitoring of NABARD. Okay, so that will be regulated. That banks, regional rural banks and cooperative banks will be regulated by NABARD only. Okay, this NABARD regulates and even supervise that cooperative banks and even that regional rural banks in the country. Okay, so this is what the role of NABARD, National Bank for Rural and Agricultural Development. Okay, so this is what the little information about NABARD. Okay, so we discussed in this video about NABARD, that is a agriculture, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So it was established on 12th July 1982 by replacing three institutions, and the purpose of this NABARD is agricultural development, rural development, credit planning, refinance, regulatory body for regional rural banks, regulatory body for apex cooperative banks, and this NABARD headquarters is located at Mumbai, Maharashtra, and monitored through Ministry of Finance, Government of India. Whole stake comes under the Government of India only, and it has a different roles. It playing as a apex institute for the rural development in the country, and also it discharges various roles in the country. Okay, hope you understand. Thank you all. Jai Shri Gurudev.